a sense of anger where we are in the United States of America, where we have not had direct conversations about a lot of the root causes of the inequities and the pain and the hurt manifested in economic disparities, manifested in health disparities, manifested in a criminal justice system that is indeed a form of new Jim Crow. And so we as a nation have not yet truly acknowledged and grappled with racism and white supremacy that has tainted this country's founding and continues to persist in those deep racial disparities and inequalities today.
Reunite.
To take a look
Reparations.
at what I offered to put
Now.
into the record. This was our life. The back of a beaten slave. This was our life into the 20th century. Hangings of African Americans, men and women. This was our life. This was our life. When we were in public display, brutalized. Our life was also the Tulsa riots, where 300 African Americans were buried in an unmarked grave. And so, Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent for those pictures of lynching that continued into the 20th century.
Of course. Who would benefit from this bill? Is it all Black Americans, only people who can prove that they are descendants of enslaved people? Because, of course, looking back at history, I mean, discriminatory policies from Jim Crow to redlining aren't really looking at your family tree as much as the color of your skin.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And your questions are extremely important because it gives me an opportunity to clarify what H.R. 40 is. H.R. 40 is the commission to study slavery that has not been done and to develop reparation proposals. It does not give answers before the commission is set up. And that's why I think it's so very important for the American people to understand that this commission brings about restoration and healing. All those questions will have to be assessed as we go through the study process, the process that will assess why there are such extreme disparities in the African-American communities in healthcare, in science, in psychology, in education, in wealth. The wealth gap is enormous between white Americans and African Americans. The questions of any amount or any assessment really is premature. The question has to be, what has the issue of 246 years of slavery done to the African-American community? What has it done as it relates to their impact through the transatlantic slave trade, through the Caribbean, through the continent of Africa? All of that has to be studied for us to make intelligent decisions. And what I'd like to convince the American public is that America will be better. For one, seeking healing and restoration and repair. The world will be much impressed that America stops for a moment the champion of human rights as evidence.
Another great distraction. Why is America